Hello everybody from Plant Reviews, today 2nd of January 2021, so happy new year, and I will talk today how to choose the tulip seeds when you want to propagate tulip by seeds. Tulips basically are divided in two big categories, species and hybrids. So the species are tulips that you basically find in the wild. Obviously, occasionally different species can hybridize even in the wild, but most of the times they are separated geographically, or for example, they bloom at different times of the year, so the hybridization is not very likely. When you pollinate tulips of the same species, the seeds that will develop will show consistently the characteristics, the features of the parents, because they belong to the same species. So the plants that will develop from the seeds when two tulips of the same species are cross-pollinated or self-pollinated, because sometimes you can also self-pollinate a tulip, so with you can use the same pollen on the stigma of the same plant. They will develop seeds that if germination and the growth is successful, will grow very, very similar, almost identical to the parents. Obviously, mutations can always arise even within the same species, but it is not such a common event. On the other hand, the hybrids that nowadays consist in the majority of tulips sold in garden centers and online, and most varieties grown in the garden. These are hybrids, and actually are quite complex hybrids where species have been crossed, obviously crossings between different species several times, and obviously mutations arising in time among the plants developed by these seeds have led to the incredible variety of tulips that now is available in the trade. When you cross-pollinate two tulips of different varieties, the seeds will carry a genetic background of obviously two different parents that also usually look very different. However, in the hybrids, there's such a complex genetic background that even when you cross-pollinate individuals of the same variety, if it's a hybrid, the amount of genetic variation that they have will lead to the seeds developing plants that are absolutely different from each other. Because obviously in the background of parents, great-grandparents, etc., they have so many different genes that affect color, plant size, etc., that really you will end up with plants very, very they can be very, very different from the parents, even if you self-pollinate a tulip. So you use the pollen, the same pollen on the same stigma of literally the same plant. This said, obviously, hopefully you will at least end up with some tulips, hopefully with a good percentage of the offspring, that resembles anyway the parent plants if you pollinated two tulips of the same variety, or even self-pollinate a tulip, a hybrid tulip. Today I will talk about how to choose viable seeds, hopefully viable seeds from tulips. After you cross-pollinated or self-pollinated a tulip, a seed pod, if pollination is successful, will develop. The seed pod of a lily is pretty much triangular, as other seed pods of other plants in the Liliaceae, the lily families are. So lilies and crown imperials indeed develop seed pods that are actually quite similar to tulips. Indeed, they belong to the same family. When you harvest the seed pod, you have to ensure that the seed pods are almost drying and almost splitting. It's very important that they are not fully open, otherwise obviously you will lose the seeds. In particular, the seeds of tulips are very, very light, and they can be easily blown by the wind. You can let them dry. You can harvest them when they are slightly green, but they are already drying up, and then you will finish to dry them up at home like I did. So when you open a seed pod, you will end up with a lot of different seeds. Apparently they look pretty similar to each other. However, as you can see, in this case, you already seen that some of them are actually from the same seed pod are quite dark, like these ones. I'm trying to focus. But some others are very pale, like for example this one. And now I'll put on a paper to show you the difference between these seeds. So I get this one that is very pale, and I put it here with the other seeds that look very similar but are also very pale. I'll take another one that also look very, very pale and put here. Others instead are quite dark, so I'll take this one. Okay, great, too. And I'll put them here, together with another 3 I collected from another seed pod of the same variety. I decided to show you what I'm doing with this tulip because the Barcelona is actually one of my favorite tulip. It bloomed last year with an incredibly beautiful display of bright pink flowers, and quite tall as well. I will put the link to the video of the Tulip Barcelona at the end of this video. However, what I'm talking about, the Tulip Barcelona, is applicable also to other tulips, and actually to other members of the lily family as well, because for the lilies and for the Crown Imperial you actually do the same to assess the viability of the seeds. So let's check the different seeds we harvested. These ones that look very dark, as you can see, there is kind of a line, of a straight line on one side, like on the pointed side of the seeds. You can see this quite white line, and basically this is the embryo of the seed. So this seed is viable. I'm just trying to focus better. Probably, yes. You can see basically this line in that runs from the pointed side of the seed to about 1/3, half of the seed. This is the embryo, so this is a viable seed. However, some other seeds are completely transparent and papery. These are much lighter. These are called chuffs. Basically, as you can see, there is nothing inside, absolutely anything, and this is a non-viable seeds, because basically there is no embryo. Probably it's so useless that not even my camera wants to focus on it. I think it's better actually put it on paper, so we'll try to focus here. Well, even on paper you can see that it's completely transparent. It lacks the straight line that instead characterizes the viable seeds. So what I will do for these tulips, I will put them put the seeds in a pot only of the brown ones, because this will be the viable seeds. It's very important for the tulip that you plant the seeds in autumn, ideally mid-autumn. Now we are already in very early winter, and I hope to still be in time, hopefully it will be. And they will need obviously well-drained soil, like every tulip, and full sun. They need a period of cold to trigger the germination in spring, otherwise the seeds will not develop. At least this is what I read, and also I tried last year with Tulip aspergeri seed, and 2 years ago with Tulip aspergeri seed. There is a species, and I had a great germination rate planting the seeds in autumn, and they germinated in spring. So I hope to have the same success with the Tulip Barcelona. As I said, I'm not expecting the 100% of the tulips developing from seeds to show the beautiful bright pink flowers of the parents, but I hope at least a good percentage of the seeds will develop features very similar to the parents, including to the parent plant, including this beautiful pink, bright pink flower and a quite tall height. These tulips are tall about 45-50 centimeters, so they're really nice. Another option when you propagate tulips, really, is not by seeds but by bulb offsets. Usually at the end of the growth season, when the plants go dormant, when tulips go dormant, when you lift the bulbs, if you lift them, you will find that there is not just one bulb left usually, but each bulb has developed offsets. So rather than being one bulb, every bulb will have developed a second, a third, or a fourth bulb. So it is a nice way to increasing your stock, and it is in this way the offsets that are produced by the tulips are consistently similar, because basically it is the very same plant that is just producing different bulbs, but again the genetic background is precisely the same, and the plants you will get by bulb offsets will be precisely the same as the parent plant. Also, usually bulb offsets can bloom even the same year you plant them, while the seeds will need at least 3 or 4, and sometimes even 5, 6 or 7 years to bloom. However, the nice thing about the seeds is that obviously among the offspring can appear new characteristics that you didn't find in the parents, and in this way it's much easier if you crossbreed different hybrids. But as I said, even in the same variety, if it's a hybrid, the genetic background is so varied that you will end up with very different offspring from the parents. And many times you will find out flowers that are so different but still so interesting, even if so different from the parents, that who knows, maybe you would like to select your own tulip variety in the end and have something unique in your garden. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will make another video about how to plant the seeds in the pot, and thanks very much for watching. Again, Happy New Year, and if you like this video and you would like to support my channel, it would be great if you can please subscribe, so in this way I will be able to publish more videos. And obviously if you want to have any information, or you want to give any comment on the video, please write it down below and I will try to respond as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.